with Arnold Dean. Hot talk, great guests. Weeknights at 6:15 from WTIC, Hartford.
BBC Radio, Canada's public broadcast.
Try Carter's Little Liver Pill. Good advice.
Good mornings only on KCMO Kansas City. It's 8 o'clock.
When you're tuned to CDS Radio.
This is the DX Central from the Static Podcast.
From Studio B of the North Shore Studios in Mandeville, Louisiana.
And welcome to another episode of the DX Central from the Static Podcast. I'm your host, Loyd Van Horn, here in Studio B, the North Shore Studios in Mandeville, Louisiana, where we bring you another episode of DX Central Re-Live, our audio replay of our Friday night live stream, DX Central Live. And this is for Season 6, Episode 10. And guys, it is a doozy. We talked about a lot of cool stuff, and we had some really great DX in there as well. So we talk about our brand new beacon list. This is the list of stations that when I'm checking to see if conditions are favorable towards Latin America, the Caribbean, that kind of stuff. These are the stations that I'm looking for. We give you station information. We give you the URL for their online stream. And this will help, hopefully, for those folks who are always wanting to kind of know, hey, if conditions are good to Latin America, where should I be looking? This gives you a list of stations to try, but also kind of just some target lists for different countries of what I would consider to be kind of the primary stations to try for from some of these different countries. So it's a great starting point for any DXer looking to do some Latin American DX. We also talk a bit about some of the most recent conditions that we've been seeing on the AM band, the solar enhancement, which has been giving us kind of like this tantalizing look down into South America. We've had Peru just about every night for at least a little while. Each night this week we've had them, it seems like. We also talk about the country challenge and how that's rolling on for another week. So perfect timing with the solar conditions, an opportunity for DXers to go after those stations down south heading towards the equator. We talk about our brand new video that just dropped on Friday here for our low noise vertical antenna for AMDX. And this is a great performer. We talk about the setup, we talk about the design of it, and kind of our implementation of it, and it works so good. We actually do a performance demonstration in the video as well. So this antenna works so well that we're actually in the process right now of putting up a second one here at North Shore Studios, a 45-foot version, a little bit taller, to replace our mini whip. And then we're doing two more over at Shortwave Central, our sister antenna farm around the corner. We're doing another 35-foot and then like a 50, 60-footer. That's how good these antennas are. So you'll definitely want to make sure you tune in to listen to that part of the live stream where we talk about the video. And go check that video out if you have a chance here on our YouTube channel. We also talk a bit about the Louisiana EAS test that happened during our live stream. This is actually, I think, the second year in a row where when we were doing our live stream, the state of Louisiana decided to go ahead and do their monthly EAS test during one of the months. So it happened around 8:30 Central Time, so it's in our second hour. And then we did recording during that time, and so we came back to the recording after the fact and did some checks as well. So if you're looking for some stations from Louisiana and you happen to be recording on the night of the 12th, this can be a chance for you to maybe get some of those stations. We also had some really, really good DX. Some of the best DX that we've had in a very long time on the live stream. And so some of the stations, we heard Ecuador in there. Peru is in there for sure. We had Colombia. We had several countries in Central America. We had Guatemala was in there, and Nicaragua, places like that. But the big one, and this I think happened right around the top of the hour, the 9 o'clock hour, the big one was Paraguay. Down in South America. You're not going to want to miss this moment. It was awesome. The chat was pumping in there as well. They were talking about how they were hearing it. And one of our DXer friends Sean Kutsko, KX9X, actually heard Paraguay himself from Illinois. So he got in on the action and got a new one while we were doing the live stream. It was awesome. So definitely want to make sure you tune in to this one here. So bring us with you wherever you might be going. Take us out on your walk, on your work, as you're doing some antenna work or your logbook work or wherever you might be. This is Season 6, Episode 10 of DX Central Relive right here on the From the Static.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
In a world where noise floors rise and DXers will try absolutely anything to get one more decibel, one man decided to replace his coax with a twisted pair.
I did it. Thanks to my friend Doc Emmel, I did it. The quietest feed line ever. No coax, no noise, just... No, this can't be happening. Is that dial-up internet?
Let's go, y'all! Thirsty Thursday! Ooh, go Cats!
Oh, dear God. I'm in the year 2000.
Trapped 25 years in the past, in a world with no SDRs, no waterfall displays, and only 3 AM stations that aren't playing, boy bands, Loyd must track down himself.
Dude, who are you? I'm you from the future, and you have to stop partying and start DXing. You're missing the most active solar cycle of your life.
Nah, bro, we're doing karaoke in an hour.
If Loyd can't convince his younger self to pick up the radio, the future he built may disappear forever.
Listen to me, if you don't put up an antenna tonight, DX Central won't exist. Your logbook, your legacy, everything, it'll fade away.
Wait, do you still have hair in the future?
Well, yeah, actually, it's long and curly, but you always wear a white hat and kind of cover it up all the time for some reason. I don't know.
One storm, one antenna, one last chance to fix the timeline. Oh, and the feed line, too.
But the storm! What do we do? Hold it steady, and whatever you do, don't touch the twisted pair! I made it. I'm home. Loyd, we need to go. It's 2050 and there's a problem. Well, with one of the beverages. Oh, for the love of God.
Coming soon to theaters. Twisted Pair.
Where we're going, we don't need coax.
It's a Friday night. Loyd in the North Shore setting frequencies right. AM and FM, the airwaves collide. TX Central Live, where the signals can't hide. Tuning in the static, chasing down the sounds. Every single signal is magic we have found. All radios hum, the chatters all agree. TX Central Live is the place to be. Folks in the chat, shout out your call. From east to west, we're breaking down the walls. It's the magic of the night, where frequencies rise. Join us now on DX Central Live.
From the Gulf South
to your corner of the world,
this is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Loyd Van Horn.
From the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, it is DX Central Live Season 6, Episode number 10. I knew we had to come with something big for Episode number 10. Blew my budget for the entire year with that trailer. A little Rick and Morty reference there at the end, too. Oh, man. How is everyone today? Happy Friday to you. Hopefully you have a good weekend of DX ahead of you. Maybe some antenna projects. I'm probably going to have a couple we'll be doing here on our side. It has been an interesting week of DX, to say the least. Conditions have been, like, tantalizingly close to awesome. Then it would, like, pull back a little bit. And then you get back and you're like, ooh, there's some more. Oh, never mind. It's not. So, part of that's the sun's fault. Old Soul has been giving us a little bit here, a little bit there. But there's one DXer the sun apparently has blessed, especially this week. Our man Barry, Top Dog Barry, is going to have him quite the shout out when we get to the shout outs here in the top of the hour, after the top of the hour. It seems like every week there's one DXer that's just like, I had myself a week. We had Sean last year, had it a couple of times, and this week it's Barry. And you guys are gonna love if you aren't in the Slide channel and you aren't familiar with what he had this week. It's pretty impressive. So we have that to talk about tonight and some more stuff. Let's see. Let me look at the big board over here. We've got we've got a new thing that we just did. Last night I sat down and cranked out. I've been wanting to do this project for a while. We put together a list of all of them are Pan American, Latin American, Caribbean, South America, all that stuff, beacon frequencies. So these are the ones that whenever there's an opening, these are the stations that I target. These are the ones I'm like, okay, let me see how the propagation is. I've been in and out of these stations all week with the solar stuff going on. So if I'm trying to figure out, okay, how are conditions going? Do I get into Central America very well? Am I into South America? Is it more shallow like Cuba, Mexico, or what? These are all the frequencies that I go through. So we've got a full list of all the frequencies, all the stations. And I also included what I found were working live streams for each of them. Now, can't promise those will always be working, right? Because things happen. But as of last night, the ones that we know, unless there's a couple that we know like from Cuba that weren't working, but we found some alternatives. But yeah, all the streams that we found last night were working. So if you're one of those folks who's like, I just want to know where to go to look for some of these Latin American stations or Caribbean or whatever, we've got the list for you now. So we'll show you where to find that tonight, here in hour number 1. We're going to talk about the sun. We've got a new video that just came out, just right when the stream started. We launched publicly our new video on the low noise vertical that we've been just raving about here at the house now for like 4 weeks. My wife was like, I don't want to hear about the vertical anymore. I'm like, but you got to understand. So we're going to give you a little glimpse into that video and some of the stuff we talked about. The country challenge continues on, and what perfect timing. Clairvoyant on my part, I guess, with the sun doing everything that it's been doing. Great time for the country challenge because we are up around 40 countries now as a group. All of you that have submitted logs, we're up around 40 countries so far, which is unbelievable. We're also going to talk about, we have a new podcast episode coming out, and it's going to be related to a column that I just wrapped up this week for the Spectrum Monitor for the January edition. So we're going to talk about what's in the column, what's in the podcast. I have to do a new Jaguar video because I just learned about a new feature in Jaguar today that I think you're going to want to know about for Jaguar users. So got to reshoot that. So we'll kind of touch on that. And Louisiana, the state of Louisiana where I am, we are doing our monthly EAS test. We'll be sending around 8:30 Central Time tonight. So we did this last year. We're going to do it again this year. We're going to tune in live at some stations here. If you have particular ones you want to target, if it's one that we have heard, we can try it out. There's some like I know Rick's looking for KMBS on 1310. Brother, me too. I have not heard them yet. So if there's some other ones down here, especially down in the southern part down here around New Orleans, if you're wanting to try to see if you can hear some of these stations down here and you want us to pull it up, let us know where you want us to look and we'll give it a shot. And we got lots and lots of shout outs to get to. So without further delay, let us get the DX a-rolling, this rig a-rolling. We're going to start off here with our first DX session brought to you by the International Radio Club of America, IRCAonline.org. Barry, it's new to me. I didn't know it existed. I just saw it on social media today. Someone had posted a post about some stuff they were catching, and they had a screenshot from Jaguar. I went, what's that? And where did that come from? And it's a feature in Jaguar that I did not know was there. So I've not been paying attention apparently. So we'll demonstrate that tonight and kind of talk about it and how to get it. So we are here on the Shortwave Central Cast, the Kiwi, and the big Latin American cast. So we're going to use this as an opportunity to try out some of our beacon frequencies that we're going to talk about here in the first hour. And we're starting off on the one that I always start with. This is the first one I always check when I'm checking conditions for Latin America. It's 1510 Radio Monumental out of Ecuador. How well this goes determine how far we look or what the next stations we look at would be. So let's start with Radio Monumental. It is top of the hour. You are correct, sir.
DX Central Live top of the hour alert.
All right, so we've got Ecuador in there. Conditions sound good. Let's look at a couple others. So we know Ecuador is in there. That's good. They're a regular visitor, though, so that's not like, oh my gosh, right? So let's look at a couple others. Let's see how strong Colombia is tonight. Okay, 810, not so much with Caracol Radio. 1100 Caracol Radio, That hit you're hearing there is them. But that's not super strong. That's right here, 1100.28. That's actually better than I thought. At least it's in the red. And this one, apparently, in talking with our friend Kaz, who's in the chat, Neil Kazaros, I think this might be Peru right here. The 1100.10 something. We're going to try to see if we can get some audio at some point in here. 1090, let's just see. Speaking of Peru, let's just give it a shot. This is always the really telling one. If Ecuador is coming in, that happens here pretty regularly. But if Peru is coming in, and that's them. That's El Condor Pasa. That's Peru right there, guys. I'm going to shut up. And we're going to hit record. Okay, not hearing it on 770 yet, but that's Peru. That's how loud Peru is right now. This is going to be a good night. Check 1090, listen for the strings, listen for El Condor Pasa, if you're familiar with the old Simon and Garfunkel song. $1,500's a different one. That's Radio Santa Rosa. We'll check there here in a bit. This is Radio Vision in Tumbes, Peru. 10 kilowatts. Or 3 kilowatts. 3 kilowatts. 3 kilowatts. Hey, Mamacita. right, so Peru is in there, and they were pretty strong there for a minute. This is what they've been doing all week. They come up, and then they have deep fades, which is usual, right? But especially this week, that's been pretty prevalent for them. So they'll probably come back up again. I didn't hear them on 770. Let's go back and check it again one more time. That's Colombia, La FAMA. We've got Ecuador, we've got Peru, we've got Colombia. We know we've got a decent, at least, okay, a little bit better than decent South American night going on here. San Andres? Oh my God. Yeah. That's San Andres. A little island off from Colombia. Counts as its own country. So if you're doing the country challenge, this counts as its own country on 910. So if you hear this football game right now on 910, that's a new country. Or a separate country. Let's go back and check Caracol Radio on 810. They're there. Also with soccer. 1100. They're there. All right. So far, let's recap. We've got Ecuador on 1510, Radio Monumental. They're coming in nice. We've got 1090 Radio Vision and Tumbes Peru coming in nice. Very nice. We've got Colombia on 3 different frequencies that we know of, 1100, 810, and 770. We've got San Andres y Providencia on 910, which is, again, a separate country. It's part of Colombia geopolitically, but it's not from a radio DX standpoint. It's its own country as far as DX goes. And then we had, what else do we have in there? We had, I think that's it so far that we've checked. So Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, and San Andres, 4 countries right there in our sweep through. Let's keep looking. Let's go to 1570 and see if Guatemala's coming in.
Recuérdese que estamos en nuestra segunda temporada. Ya que la primera temporada.
Oh, are they ever?
Ya que la primera.
That's probably the one of the loudest I've heard them this week. So the station with the sound effects and everything, that's WTWB La Raza out of Florida, Auburndale, Florida. The station that's the guy talking, that's Guatemala. They are loud. So we've got Ecuador, we've got Peru, we've got Colombia, we've got San Andres, and we've got Guatemala. Let's go check 550. Oops.
85 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals. CVS Health.
We're going to look for ABC Radio.
By simplifying care and improving
out of Honduras down here.
Get the care that you need. Learn more.
I just got to pull up their stream off my list.
/Investor Day. That's cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
That might be them.
Second, by supporting international animal rescue, call 08-826-1083.
Yeah, I think that's ABC Radio out of Honduras coming in.
10 athletes will face that.
Okay. So this is going to be a decent night. That trace that we see over here to the left of the main fundamental right here, that's Costa Rica at 549.9392.5-ish right there. That's Costa Rica right there. This is going to be a good night for Latin DX from here. Now, here's what I've found out. We've had so much of this solar activity going on this week and recently. When we have a really good night like this right here, the rest of you are going to be tonight, tomorrow. That's just been the pattern that I've noticed. I don't know why, but we get it first because we're further south down here. I guess I don't know, but we usually get it first, and then you guys start just racking up. So you're going to want to keep an eye on your dial over the next at least 24 hours because this might give you some stuff. So let's take a quick break. Let's take a breath. And when we come back, we're going to look at this beacon list because this is going to be handy. This definitely comes into play now for everyone who's looking for Latin American stuff. We're going to look at our new beacon frequency list, how you can find it, how you can get to it, how you use it. And we're going to help see how that's going to help us hopefully get some stuff in the logbook. We're also going to talk about this guy. This is my little DP666 TEF 6686 radio. And the little portable that I've been kind of testing out. And I've been testing it out on FM for a while, and it is phenomenal. All the TEF radios are great at FM. But how does it do on AM? Well, tonight I found out. And we're going to talk about it here in a little bit. So don't go anywhere, my friends. More DX Central Live is coming up right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
In the sky, the sun gone wild. Turned up winds are running miles. Statics dancing with good lights. Turn that down, the world inside. Hear that rhythm on 1140. Rio singing sweet and sporty. Buenos Aires calling clear. Sounds of summer in my ear. Oh, so last from serenade. The bands are burning. Signals parade. From Havana to Montevideo. The tropic tunes begin to play. Oh, so last from serenade. Every flare.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Loyd Van Horn.
Do I consider this like you have the people who do The Secret, right? Where they kind of like speak things into existence. That's what this song is doing. We are going for it, man. It's DX Central Live here on YouTube and DXCentralLive.com, and it's Friday night, and we're doing live DX. We're talking about DX. We're doing shout-outs. We're doing challenges, all kinds of stuff. Real quick before we get to the shout-outs, I did want to remind you guys to check out, there we go, Christmas Song Bingo. If you haven't done that yet, go to DXChallenges.com. and download your PDF of the Christmas bingo. I know Justin had it on his live stream this last week, which was awesome. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. And so you can download, you can PDF it, you can print it, you can, or whatever you need to do to it, but you've got your bingo here, and it runs through the end of the year, right? So, I mean, or whenever, how long it takes you to get bingo. It doesn't matter who's first or last. It doesn't matter. There's no prize. It's just for fun. You're DXing anyway. And like I said, you can probably sit on your FM station, because this is open for AM and FM. You can sit on your local FM station that's playing nonstop Christmas music and probably knock most of this out in one day. But where's the fun in that? So just do this organically as you DX and have fun with it, because it's fun. That's the whole. It's supposed to be fun. Let's do some quick shout outs, and then we're going to talk about our beacon frequency list, because I want to spend some time on that. Then we'll talk about this guy. Oh, and this guy too. Oh, and this little guy right here. So we also did testing on these two tonight, in addition to the TEF. And so we're going to talk about all that. Here we go.
Shout out, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM, from C to C. We celebrate the ones who slag your IT. Shout out, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
Yeah, we got some shout outs to get to tonight. I saw a comment. Bub says, Too bad up here in Michigan we don't get Latin America. Not true. Ask Jacob up in Minnesota about his Latin Americans. Ask Tim Trump up in Michigan about his Latins. They are there. You just got to know where to look. And that's part of the reason we did the beacon frequency list, was to help with that kind of stuff. So, all right. Let's start our shout outs with Jerry Hart up in New York. Got a couple in here, quite a few new logs. So we're going to start with WLUI 670 in Lewistown, Pennsylvania. WAZN 1470 in Watertown, Massachusetts. 1160 WCFO in East Point, Georgia. And 1080 WKJK in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, that I saw a couple people were hearing that one this week. Very nice. 1350 WRNY in Rome, New York. And 1600 WUNR in Brookline, Massachusetts. So several new ones in here for our friend Jerry Hart up in New York. Well done, my friend. Congratulations. There you go. Fair point, Rick. Fair point about Australia. Very fair point. Well done, Jerry, on quite a few new ones. New haul there for you. Our buddy Earl in the chat, Earl Higgins. This is not so much a shout out request as it is an unidentified help request. So we're here to help. We're going to use the collective resources of our DX community. We've got some really experienced DXers in there. We got a pretty wide range of geographic locations all across the country. So listen up, guys. We got our friend Earl in Missouri with an unidentified request. So here we go. This is a clip from 2300 UTC yesterday on December the 11th. Get your headphones out. Get your headphones out. Or your earpods or whatever so you can listen to this clip. It's a mystery station, Radio Exitos. The ID is repeated many times between songs, which could be described as slow, romantica Spanish ballads. I think it may be Mexican since things were going south. This and other times I have heard them. 3 times this week he's heard them, by the way. In fact, the other station heard at the time was 1190 Talk Radio in Dallas. I can find no listing for a station with this slogan. It's not New York. It didn't match their stream, nor is it the station in Monterey. It doesn't match that stream either. Show your Latin American DX expertise. All right, let's help out a fellow DXer. Maybe you have it on one of your recordings. Would welcome any ID help on this one. It's driving me crazy because it was so strong. And I've heard it 3 times now. It's not going away. So this is on 1190 kilohertz. You heard it at 2300 UTC on December the 11th. Radio Exitos. He's heard it a couple times as well. A couple of days now. Radio Exitos. Now he's talked about the New York station, which is I think Radio Exitas. So it's close, but we're going to hear the clip here. I think there's a difference in the pronunciation here. Let's take a listen. Ready?
Radio Éxitos, la mejor música para toda la familia.
All right, one more time. I'm going to play it one more time for you. Listen to that ID. That's pretty clear. He's saying Exitos, right? I don't hear Exitas. I hear Exitos. Let's take another listen.
Radio Éxitos, la mejor música para toda la familia.
Okay. So, DX Collective, the community out there, what you got? See if we can help our friend Earl out here and help him nail down who this is. So, didn't match the live stream from New York, and the ID, the slogan sounds different. I would, just to be sure, I would probably, if it was me, if this was my situation, I was the DXer, I would probably do a little bit of listening to the 1190 stream. And I think you've done this. I think I saw you in the Slack mention that you've listened to their stream and they do some different programming, which is perfect. That's what I would do. I would listen to the live stream of the stations that are candidates and double check to see if they have like similar IDs or like the Echo, that kind of stuff. Mas Musica. If I hear that kind of stuff, then that, even if it doesn't match the stream, because sometimes the stream doesn't match, right? They can be behind, they can be ahead, they can be running different programming on the stream versus the on air. It's not always a slam dunk. So just to kind of rule that out, I would double check just to make sure what their IDs are, and then run that up against some other candidates, right? Do the same thing with any potential candidates that I'd be looking at. That's how I would probably try to narrow that down if it was me. So, but I'm pretty sure, I think Earl mentioned in Slack he had done that and he listened and he was not hearing on the live stream from WLIB. He was not hearing that kind of stuff that he heard on here. So if you guys have any input for our friend Earl, drop it in the chat. If you're in the Slack channel, kind of come back to him, that's fine. But we want to get him some help here to see if we can get this ID for him. Hopefully help him get this narrowed down. I don't have any thoughts who that could be. I'll have to go back and look at my notes in my logbook and see if I can find anything for you. I'll get back to you. Stuart up in Michigan, Stuart W8SRC. Not much DX over the past couple weeks, probably due to a busy schedule. And also only using a C Crane 2E radio, portable. However, as I patiently wait for winter E-skip on the FM side, I did manage to get a few new AM Skywave stations over the past couple nights. 1250 The Answer to be PGP in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 235 miles. 1300 KGLO in Mason City, Iowa at 482 miles. 1280 Radio Montreal CFMB 549 miles. Radio Formula 970 XERFR in Mexico City 1,819 miles. Nice. See, there's a Michigan, Latin America. Poder 660 WDYZ in Altamont Springs, Florida, 947 miles. KOA Denver, they were strong the other night. Last night, I was doing some searching on 850. I was looking for Puerto Rico, and KOA was loud last night, even on the South Wire. 850 KOA in Denver, 1,110 miles, mixing with WXJC. That's a new state for him. Goal achieved. Clip attached. 860 WSON in Henderson, Kentucky, 365 miles, mixing with CJBC, and WOC 1420 News Talk in Davenport, Iowa, 349 miles. Tomorrow morning, I'll be traveling to the same nature preserve where I received FM meteor scatter during the Leonid's Peak last month. I'll additionally run a few FM NOAA Weather Radio meteor scatter recordings at my autologger's location throughout the weekend to see what I can get. I'll give you guys a full report on what I catch during next week's DX Central Live. Awesome. All right, let's listen to KOA Denver, as heard from Michigan. Here we go. There you go. All right, well done, Stuart. We're going to get you a couple of let's see, first we're going to do the log saw routine. I just saw, I think was that Jacob? Was that you that mentioned Arkansas station? Yeah, let me see. You just bring up a really good thing in my mind. I thought I might have heard somebody on that frequency. I'm still talking about the one for Earl here. Let me double check my log. Oh, no. When I heard that station, they were still doing Red Dirt Radio. They weren't running Spanish at the time, so I don't have an ID on that one. I'll have to go back and double check. He also got himself a new state this week. And he achieved a goal. Got himself some new ones. New state. And he's got himself a plan for some E-skip and meteor scatter coming up, which is awesome. It seems like that's going to run forever. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 more shout outs left to do. What time do we have? 24. Yeah, we got some time. Let's do a couple more in here. That way we can get to the beacon stuff. Barry, I'm saving you till next hour. Cool. Got to build the tension, suspense and stuff. All right, Aiden up in Michigan. No new states this week, but I do have a couple of goodies. Conditions haven't been auroral, so I haven't been to log very many countries at my high latitude. But I'm just going to share all of my loggings this week, including last Friday. 1430 to be YMC Mayfield, Kentucky, 471 miles for his 22nd Kentucky station. 1440 to be ZYX Cowan, Tennessee, 511 miles. That's Tennessee number 31. Nice. Missouri, his 7th one, 1520 KRHW in Sikeston, Missouri, 501 miles. XERF 1570 in Ciudad Acuña, Mexico. I'm getting some flashbacks, some Wolfman Jack flashbacks to my dad telling me some stories about that one when he was a kid. 1327 miles and his 2nd overall Mexican from up there in Michigan, another Latin American. 970 to be BGG in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 213 miles, 33 from Pennsylvania. Last station I needed, license to the city of Pittsburgh. Nice. See, I like doing that too. I like saying, like, I got all the stations in Dallas, or I got all the stations in, like, South Florida, or whatever it might be, right? Or all the Tampa, St. Pete stuff, right? I like doing that too, like scratching off, like, if I can't even do the entire state, like getting a little part of the state. I'm like, hey, closer to the whole thing. 1030 to be THQ, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, 248 miles for his 13th from the state. 1120 WKQW, Oil City, Pennsylvania, 201 miles, and Pennsylvania number 34 for him. And that's his first station on 1120 other than KMOX. Another important milestone, another roadblock out of the way. Because that's not easy to do. 1680 KRJO, Monroe, Louisiana. Hey, baby, we got that gumbo for you, Masha. And that's his 3rd Louisiana, 826 miles. 670 Radio Rebellion out of Cuba, 1,329 miles. That's his 6th from Cuba. Somehow never got a single Progresso or Relo where I'm at yet. I've got Rede Guama on 1,000 a month ago during the royal conditions. Yeah, Relo and Progresso both are getting harder. For me, they're getting harder. Rebellion seems to be getting a little easier in some regards. Like, their 530 outlet's a lot stronger than they used to be here. But 640 Progresso, I haven't heard them much lately. 890 Progresso has been missing for a long time. I haven't heard Relo on 570. I haven't heard Relo on 820, I want to say, maybe. I heard them on the 860 recently, and I think 870, they're still under WWL from what I can tell. And 950, but it's really been a lot more sparse lately. 1250 WRAY in Princeton, Indiana for Indiana number 15. 540 ASG Daphne, Alabama for Alabama number 7. KRV in Lexington, Nebraska, 880 for his 5th Nebraska. 1420 to be GXI in Plymouth, Wisconsin for Wisconsin number 14. The ITY Danville, Illinois, 980 for Illinois number 24. 870 KPRM Park Rapids, Minnesota for Minnesota number 6. 1380 to be ABH in Bath, New York at number 29 from the state of New York. 1200 to be CFGO, Ottawa, Ontario. That is his 37th overall Canadian. Also his first station on 1200 besides WMUZ. You've seen a pattern here, right? 1200 to be RTO. So that's now 2 new stations on 1200 for him. And that's Illinois number 25 from Chicago. And 620 to be TAW, College Station, Texas. 9 Texas stations for Aiden. So, quite a bit here to unpack. We've got new logs to saw. We've got a new Estado de Mexico. All right, and we've got a new Wisconsin station. Yep. And a new one from Louisiana, because we got that bowl of that gumbo we giving out, baby. Hope you got a spoon. You're going to need it. that's a haul right there. I'm counting. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19. That's awesome, man. There you go, Aiden. Well done, my friend. Well done. David Pete up in Maine. How about that? We'll do yours and Stephanie, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So next hour we got Jeff, we've got Neil, Kaz, we've got Sean Kutsko, we've got Rick Dow, we've got Barry. All next hour we're gonna do 2 more here, and then we'll move to the beacon frequency stuff. David Pete up in Maine. Actually, this is from 2 weeks ago, but he missed last week's show. But on the evening of 11:30 UTC, it was mentioned on the Slack channel that there was a carrier on 1548. I had chased this one before. I was almost going to ignore it, but I pulled it up and indeed did have a carrier. I pulled the web stream and started recording the band while I listened. Several times the carrier pulsed up to what should be near audio levels. At one point I heard chanting that matched what I was hearing on the stream, made a quick clip of it, and uploaded it to Slack and asked if anyone else heard anything, as it was pretty faint and I wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing things. Been there. It was confirmed when then I went back in through the recording. I found 3 stretches of slow Islamic style chanting matching the stream for 1548 Radio Islam International out of South Africa. Radio new country number 34 and mileage record at 7,787 miles. Shout out to Tim Trump and Mark Pettifor for the help. And wow, South Africa, man, that's no, I'm just kidding. I really am very, 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 very in awe of that one. That's amazing. And we got to stamp the passport for the first step here. South Africa from Maine, and the bogs are crushing it for our friend David up there. And that's a milestone because, I mean, anytime you can hear across the equator, you're doing pretty good for yourself. But when you can hear not only across the equator, but across the other side of the ocean, I mean, that's remarkable, man. So, well done, David, for country number 34 for him. And it's South Africa. Fantastic. Oh, man. All right. Now we have our friend Stephanie, and then we'll wrap up round 1 of these shout-outs and get to the rest in round 2. You can still get your shout-outs in, dxchallenges.com/shout-out, so you have plenty of time. Get those in. Stephanie from California. Well, many of you have been chasing, in many cases successfully, Latin America, South America, Middle Eastern countries. I'm looking at you, Barry. I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and based on my Google Gemini analysis of my logbook and Loyd's gold setting of ice, as in DXing at different day parts, like around local sunrise and whatnot, I went back to my 1113 recording for analysis. It's been a real bonanza so far. 6 new stations and 1 new state from the Hacienda. Major new state, by the way, from California, especially. I mean, damn, dude. I'll save the details for this week's shout out, but here's the recap so far. 1350 KABQ, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Day power 5 kilowatts, 559 miles, just past their local sunrise. 1180 KPLF in Midland, Texas. Day power 25 kilowatts, 839 miles, just past local sunrise. 1080 KSLL, Price, Utah. Critical hour power 5 kilowatts, 505 miles. KPPF, Monument, Colorado. 1040 kilohertz. Critical hour power 2 kilowatts, 732 miles. 890 KYWN, Meridian, Idaho. 125 watts at night, 670 miles. And the big one, and there's a clip for it, 840 WHAS in Kentucky, 50 kilowatts, 1,747 miles for new state number 33 from the Hacienda in California. So let's listen to the clip really quick. This is Kentucky as heard from California. You guys ready for this?
What came to be kind of what
insane, young, Polish immigrant who was known for hating women and for attacking his sister one time with a knife. And this is contested. I'll get calls from ripperologists for saying this, but there seems
So there's the station on top, and there's the one underneath doing the weather.
to be the strongest evidence pointing to him, and the police at one point did say that they believe that this is the man. They never revealed it to the public, but it was written in one of the
That's
detectives.
amazing. That's fantastic, Stephanie. That's super clear. That's outstanding. And you mentioned a good thing. I'm playing around with this myself right now. I'm starting to try to use some of that Google Gemini AI logbook analysis to see how it does. And I'm having mixed results, but I'm checking to see what it can do and trying to come up with a concept of how that could be useful. But anytime I have a feeling at some point here soon, AI is going to help DXers unlock their logbooks and just wide open for everyone. Like there's the people like myself who do this analysis stuff all the time, and so I'm used to it. But then there are other folks who maybe don't play in that sandbox too much. So the AI doing it for them and helping them with that analysis, it's going to unlock the potential of their logbook in a big, big way. So I'm really excited about that. So we've got quite a bit to get to here for you. We've got logs to solve. And we've got a new state. We got fireworks to shoot off. I mean, anytime you're getting, I've said this before, anytime you're in the West Coast and you're getting new logs, once you've reached a certain point in your logbook, right? Any of those new logs are going to be like, wow, that's really good. But 33 states from Southern California, and this was Kentucky. That's huge, man. That's huge. And I mean, she's using the W6, or not the W6, but the Wellbrooks, right? And just crushing it, man. Just absolutely crushing it. So well done, Stephanie. Proud of you. Good job, my friend. Again, we'll save the rest of the shout outs here for the next hour. We've got Kaz, we've got Jeff, we've got Sean, we've got Rick, we've got the big one from Top Dog himself, Mr. Barry. All right, let's go ahead and let's look at our new tool, our new resource that we have here for DXers to use to help them with DXing Latin America. So it always comes around where, there's a Latin American opening or conditions are good down to that area. Social media, I'll see it. Slack channel, I'll see it. Like, what are the stations I should be looking for? Where should I be searching and things like that? Or searching for, I'm trying to find a stream that's working for this station, things like that. So I decided to try to do all that in one resource, based off of what we do here whenever there's a Latin opening, kind of what we were doing earlier, right? We pulled up the Radio Vea stream from Guatemala, 1570, and compared that to what we were hearing, and boom, there was a match. So if you go to dxchallenges.com, this is live now, so it's there, it's ready. dxchallenges.com, and then hover over resources. You'll see our all-season analysis. We talked about that last week. Our unique sounds of Latin America, anthems of Latin America, all this stuff is here. Now you want to go to the Loyd's Pan-American Beacon list, okay? This is another one of the dashboards like we have for the other stuff, but this is just a table of all of the beacon frequencies, what station is there, where they're located, city and country, what's their stream link. And again, unless it's noted, like there's one here for Radio Progresso where I said this stream link was not working, but there's another one here that we can use. I think, no, it wasn't. I tried to offer backups. I think, was it Rebeldi? Yeah, Rebeldi had a backup because the one from Cuba was not working, which has been happening lately. So here's some ways you can use this. You can just scroll through, and it's in order from top to bottom, so from low frequency to high. I think you can resort that, though, so if you want to see top frequency, if you want to work from top down, you can sort it by clicking on the frequency column, and it will resort that for you. So you can do that. You can sort by country as well. So if you want to see everything in kind of order that way, you can do that. You can also filter here. So let's say I want to filter by country. I want to see everything from Colombia that's on this list. I can do that, and here's all my Colombian stations that we have on the list. And I'm going to be adding to this as we go along, probably, more than likely. I mean, as we get more ones that we kind of use as beacons. Now, my disclaimer on this is not an exhaustive list. There's going to be a lot of stations that are not included on here, and that's by design. This is not supposed to replace like medium wave list or any of the others. It's not saying this is everything. This is just what I search for when I'm looking for either specific countries or specific kind of areas, or B, I'm trying to check the propagation. And so this is what I use to help me kind of determine that. So when you're trying to figure out how is the propagation to you, these are all some stations you can try to use for that. So the example I always give is I start with Ecuador, right? Because that's down in South America, and how loud they are compared to LAC tells me how far down of a southern ingress am I getting on the propagation. If they're there, which they are most nights, but they're not like dominant, then I'm pulling back a little bit, right? I'm pulling back to like Central America. And I'm hearing some of the ones I usually hear in Central America that are deeper, like Guatemala and some of the others. If not, I'm pulling back further. I know it's going to be probably Mexico and Cuba, maybe some Honduras or Nicaragua, but more than likely it's going to be a little more shallow. If I'm hearing deeper into Central America, now I'm looking, okay, am I also getting Haiti or Dominican Republic? Am I getting Puerto Rico at all? How deep in Central America does it go? Am I getting into deeper into some of the not so obvious Colombians, right? So some of these that you see here are some obvious Colombians, but there's a couple others like 760, not so obvious here. 680, not so obvious here. They're not every night. When conditions are good, they're there. 1000 HJAQ that you see there, Law FM, not so obvious. When conditions are good, they're there. So that's how I kind of try to gauge it. I start from a kind of a midpoint, okay, and then I work either forwards or deeper into South America, or I pull back a little bit, depending on what I'm hearing as I go along. So, but if you're just looking to see, I just want to try to hear Guatemala. Well, guess what? Guatemala's on here, right? So you can Guatemala. There they are, Radio Vea. There's the stream that we used earlier. And then I also include my notes in here as well. Like how likely is it, what do you have to, like this one, you have to contend with La Raza out of Florida probably. So that's just some stuff that you can use to kind of help you kind of figure out how to tune these guys in. I try to put in things like offsets if I can in here, if I know about it. If there are Kiwis or online receivers that are helpful, I mention that as well. Like here is 570 HJND Radio Nacional de Colombia. I say here's their stream, but you can also try the Bonaire Kiwi when it's up. Here's that link, right? So there's as much information as I can pack in here to help folks try to get these Latin American stations in their logbook. We've got about 62 stations on the list, 24 countries. So this is a really healthy start. Again, there will be more that we add. I think every country in South America except for Venezuela, Brazil, and Bolivia. Venezuela, because I'm trying to figure out which ones are still on, and that's been tough. Still in the air, I mean. And their streams are not great, and the Bonaire Kiwi's offline, so I'm having a really hard time doing that. Brazil and Bolivia, because I haven't heard them here yet. Bolivia is tough. It's one of the toughest countries in South America. Brazil, because I haven't figured out which ones are like beacon worthy from Brazil yet, because I haven't heard them. And I haven't seen like a consensus in a while of what's like beacon worthy. Like these are the big ones from Brazil that you should be looking for, right? So that's the list here. I included some additional links up here at the top on our unique sounds of Latin America. Oh, I got to fix that for the anthems. So unique sounds, the anthems, our all season analysis, the top 10 country video series that we did. Those are also linked, but then you have just your station list here. As we do with all of our tables you see on these dashboards, yes, you can export this into a CSV or like an Excel file, a Google Sheets file if you want to. So if you wanted to print this out, if you wanted to put it into your own spreadsheet and then do what you need to do with it, by all means. This is a resource that's here for you to do whatever you need to do to get stuff in your logbook. So if you need to export that out and you have a copy, now again, I will be adding to this as we go along. So you may want to keep that in mind that you may have an old outdated copy at some point. But it's there for you to do as you need to do. So again, it is dxchallenges.com, the resources, and then look for Loyd's Pan American Beacon List. And there you go. That's the big one. David says 910 Venezuela is on, has a working stream. I tried that. Medium wave list has them as inactive, this is why I was trying to pull that up. And I thought I did hear, I think that's the one I heard the stream working for. I have to go back, but I couldn't pick them up here. So I couldn't confirm if that was just the stream. There was on-air component to it as well, because sometimes that happens. That's Ede Coup, and we actually have them on our Unique Sounds of Latin America page, all the way down here at the bottom, because when we did hear them a couple years ago, they have something unique that at least they used to. I don't know if they still do or not. That little doorbell sound right there, that's them. That's Ede Coup out of Caracas. So hopefully this helps you guys out. For those of you who are looking for some targets, want to know how to find these stations, where to find them, dxchallenges.com/resources. And then look for that beacon frequency list. And like I said, I'll be updating that. And when it does, it'll update that on the table. So you don't have to do anything extra. It's just automatically an update. All right, before we start our next DX session, let's talk really quick about the radios. So you guys know here recently I had this, I think it's the, I can't remember the chip on this, it's SI4732, I think, or something like that. The ATS25 Max decoder and the little pocket radio, the version of the same chip, but it's just a little smaller version of it. So I've been trying it out on FM and it's working pretty good. It's pretty decent on FM. This one, the pocket radio's all right. This one though is doing pretty good on FM, the Max decoder. But I hadn't tried it on AM yet, so I wanted to make sure that we did that. So tonight I hooked it up to our low noise vertical antenna. So I have that vertical right now running into our Kiwi, and then through a splitter it goes into our RSP-DX. So I unplugged it from the RSP-DX, left it on the Kiwi, plugged it into the back of this, and this as well. And we're trying it out for AM. So my initial thoughts, I got more testing to do. My initial thoughts are this on these two radios. No. I mean, it probably does pretty good on FM. I haven't done a full test on FM, but for AMDX, not even with this antenna, but like with an actual outdoor antenna that I know works really, really well. No. This one. No. This one was better than the pocket radio. This is the ATS25 Max decoder, but the signals, I wasn't hearing a lot of distinct signals on this radio with that vertical antenna, but on the Kiwi I was. Now, is it a fair comparison to compare this to a Kiwi? Yeah, no, maybe. I don't know. But that's what I'm comparing it to, because I want to have a radio that works that well. I mean, if I'm going to be DXing, I want a radio that's going to perform as well as my SDRs do, right? Maybe I can't do the recording, but I want the radio that I'm working off of to record, to be able to record, but hear as well as those SDRs do. And compared to the Kiwi, no. This was not it. So with the exact same antenna at the exact same time. No. Brings me to this guy. This is the TEF6686. This is the DP666 version. Now, a little background. You guys know I have a bunch of TEF radios here at the house. We're using for FM autologgers. We're using for online receivers. I have plugged in AM antennas into those desktop TEF radios. Okay, I've plugged my CASs and super loops and stuff into that desktop TEF radio, and I wasn't impressed. I plugged the vertical into this one tonight. I was impressed. This one, I have a lot more testing to do. So this may not bear out the way that it looks like it will. But just off of the initial testing that I did tonight, we already know this is a phenomenal FM receiver. Absolutely just gangbusters. The testing that I did, this was equal with the Kiwi. Everything I could hear on the Kiwi, I could hear with this at the exact same time. With the same antenna. They were both running the same antenna at the exact same time. If a signal was over on my Kiwi, it was over here on this portable. There was nothing that I could hear there that I couldn't hear here. So I'm going to do more testing. But if you're looking for a... I hesitate to say this because I need to do more testing. But the preliminary results are looking like, if you're looking for a portable radio... Now, this is not an SDR. You're not going to be able to record the band and go back and review the recordings. But if you're looking for like a live DX machine, especially something portable that you can take out and about, this not only gets you tremendous FM, but with the right antenna, this is also looking like it might get you really damn good AM as well. So, I'll do some more testing and let you guys know, but I've been meaning to do that for a while. I just hadn't got around to it. So my first initial test of this radio on AM, far better than my old TEF portable, far better than my TEF desktops that I've been using. This on AM was actually pretty good. Now, maybe it was just the antenna. I don't know. But I mean, the same antenna on these other radios were crap. I'll test my other portable with that same antenna and see if I get similar results or not. But so far, yeah, this is looking like a pretty awesome portable DX machine for AM and FM. It doesn't have sideband, which I wish it did, but that's okay. All right, let's do some DX. We got countries to chase. The country challenge rolls on. No new challenge this week. We got another week in the country challenge. So with that in mind, we look again southward for our next DX session. This one's brought to you by National Radio Club, nationalradioclub.org. Check it out today about information on becoming a member of the National Radio Club. All right, if you have a request for our beacon frequencies here, I'm going to keep going through. We're going to check some of the ones we already did and see if the conditions are still like they were earlier, because the BZ was looking 8.3 positive right now, so that's not super southern facing. So we'll see we'll see how the conditions are holding up right now. So let's go back up top. Let's go to 1510. And don't forget, here next hour, 8:30, get your radios ready to tune towards Louisiana, because we got our EAS test coming up this next hour. So there is Radio Monumental. No sign of LAC at all. Barry wants us to check 780. I know what's up. I know what you're doing. Normally, now we're going to check this on two different radios. Normally this is Radio Viva Pasto, but let's check it here. I'm going to check it on the DX Central Kiwi. Let's check it first on the vertical.
1%, 74 points. The sales of Tesla in November dropped to a 4-year low, according to...
And now the Southeast CAS.
The people decide. The question is whether the potato wedges that brought back this year will be a permanent equalizer. 53 permanent. People at fields,
American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, 81. Traffic, weather,
If you were sexually abused,
I'm looking for ZBVI here.
your case could still qualify for compensation. From clergy members and those who use
I'm
to stop it, no matter how it looks, call our law firm's confidential service 714-3253 to find out if you're
the song.
An attorney may be able to get you justice, closure, compensation, but if your case qualifies,
Yeah.
our law firm's 100% confidential service helpline right now to take over. Call 800-712-3250.
There's BBM.
That's 800-712.
I'll take this over to the DX Central or Short Central Kiwi. Yeah, that's Viva Pasto. Tell you what we're gonna do. Let's start a new recording on the southeast, and I'm also gonna do this on the Air Spy. That way I can use the code channel canceller if we need to. All right. So we're now recording on the southeast antenna on the Kiwi and the Air Spy. Let's just refresh that page. So that's what ZBVI, they're doing Caribbean-style Christmas music right now. But yeah, I do want to try to do that. Let's while that's running, we're gonna pull up our SDR console here. This is on the vertical.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can hear Haiti. Well, there's HAS. All right, let's go take that down. Let's try the Air Spy. We can tune around while we record here.
Bien. Kembe Sakibo.
So that's the Haiti live stream right there.
DX Central Live top of the hour alert.
I think that's Colombia's national anthem. There you go. It's 8:40. Let's do... Oh, that's why I had that. I'm not hearing ZBVI here. Yeah, no sign of British Virgin Islands here on 780. But we did have... That was cool. I haven't heard them in quite a while. That was Doble. HJ Doble. And that is in HJ Doble K. So that's their actual call sign is HJKK. They're in Neiva, Colombia. 30 kilowatts. I have not heard them on 840 in a very long time. So that was really cool to get the Colombian national anthem like that on 840. Looking for Haiti. Didn't hear Haiti. But that was really cool. Colombia there on 840. Nice. So that tells me that last time I heard them, it was a pretty deep Colombian South America night. Not like deep Paraguay deep. But who knows? We're going to keep an eye on that. So let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do some more live DX. We're going to get more of your shout outs. We're going to talk about the new video that we just put up on the low noise vertical antenna for AMDX. We're going to look at some of the numbers from the country challenge because you guys are crushing it. And we're going to get ready for that EAS test here at 8:30. So don't go anywhere, my friends. More DX Central Live is heading your way, and it's going to happen right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
Neon signals in the night. Every dial's a city light. Skies alive, the band's awake. I'm driving through the static haze. Every flare, every spark pulls me closer through the dark. Can you feel it start to rise? The airs are rolling in tonight. Welcome to Skip City, where the airwaves never sleep. Voices from 1,000 miles, secrets that we keep. Turn the dial and chase the sound. Let the world spin upside down in Skip City. We're all connected through the sky. Signals paint the open road.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Loyd Van Horn.
Fading in electric hues.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana.
Catch a call sign, hold it tight. It's gonna
Skip City, man.
Welcome to Skip City, where the airwaves never sleep.
Quite a few of you have been living in Skip City this week with some great DX catches. And so we're going to talk about some of those here in a few moments. We get to our next round of shout outs. You can still get your shout outs in, by the way. Just go to dxchallenges.com/shoutout. I'm just checking out the old chat over here, making sure everybody is playing nice. Let's do some more of those shout outs real quick, actually.
Shout out loud, hear the call for every single big or small, from AM to FM to C to C. We celebrate the ones who snag the ID. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
Okay, I might have overdone it with the horn that time. All right. We got a couple more left shout outs to get here in for this second round here. And we're going to start off with Chuck Ripple in the house from Virginia. Was listening to 1540 and all of a sudden the gumbo cleared enough for a station ID by a man. Interesting, it was in the 9 minutes after the top of the hour. Which was it? Who was it? It says radio is a Texan PL380 with a Gary DeBach antenna mod, 807 miles. Doesn't say who you got. Let us know, Chuck. Let us know who you got in there, homie. And we'll get that rest of that shout out in there for you. 807 miles away, though. That's. And we'll go ahead and install the log for you. Next up on the list, we got Jeff Notorious, B.O.G.
Notorious.
And he's got some new gear. He just installed his second high Z antenna, arrived from Canada. He's going to install it tomorrow morning before the next snowstorm. And he installed his NAS, his network attached storage, which I'm very, very envious of because that's something the project that's on the list down the line a little bit when I can invest in the hard drives. But he's got his second high Z antenna now in, and he'll be installing that in this weekend. And I've got plans for that. I got to order another one from Canada myself, I think, here pretty soon. New gear, man. So we got that going on for, which was nice. We celebrate all the DX stuff, not just the catches, but the things that get you the catches. We celebrate that too. Looking forward to seeing how that one works for you. It's going to be a 35 footer, another 35 foot. I'm hoping this weekend to maybe get some time to go try to scout out in a tree at the Shortwave Central house around the corner to see if we can put up like a 60 footer. I don't think I'm going to need an amplifier for that one. I will when I'm going to put a 45 footer over here and replace the mini whip. So that one I'll need an amp for. But the other one, I'm just going to probably have to just make a transformer and see what I can do with that. Yeah. Kaz in Illinois, 1570 Guatemala finally caught Radio Vea after just 6 p.m. tonight through a mess of weak stations, peaking and matching the stream with talk and bumper music. Aha! And the LMR 1450 in Chattanooga also just put in the logbook. So well done, Mr. Kaz. There you go. Awesome. Our friend Sean Kutsko, KX9X in the chat. Nice to see you in there, man. Missed you the last several weeks. So really, really awesome to see you in there this week. And he's got some stuff to report. He said not too much to report this week for the country challenge. While I do have 8 countries logged, nothing terribly exciting or new. It's on the list. So hopefully he'll get a chance to get some stuff in here. Did log Radio Vision on 1090 in Peru and Radio Monumental 1510 in Ecuador for the furthest DX receptions. Maybe next week will be better for him. Those are relogs, but good for the challenge for this week. 5 new domestic, though. WCGC 1270 in Belmont, North Carolina at 516 miles. WMCP 1280 Columbia, Tennessee, 317 miles. WRVK Mount Vernon, Kentucky on 1460, 283 miles. WZFG 1100 Dilworth, Minnesota, 623 miles. I really want that one. I've tried. WJCP 1460 Mount Vernon, Indiana, 159 miles. So Mount Vernon, Kentucky and Mount Vernon, Indiana on 1460. Nice. Now up to 1,228 unique logs from 45 states and 19 countries on AM from here in Champaign, Illinois. Big news to report here is my upgraded ham radio tower finally being complete. I have good-sized Yagis on 50, 144, and 432 megahertz with mass-mounted preamps and a half-inch Heliax feed line on a 40-foot tower. Managed to work 2 new grid squares on 2 meters this week. Oh, man, I can't. No one's ever there. Now, it's probably my receive is not super great. I need to put a low noise amplifier on there, but I've never seen anyone on 2 meters. I haven't had a permanent tower up since 2004. It feels great to have new VHF, UHF antennas up higher. That's also a part of the problem, too. I'm at 27 feet instead of like 40. So I'm taking a solo AM expedition to extreme southern Illinois next weekend. Going to be renting a place on 50 acres in the middle of nowhere and setting up a 500-foot bog and bringing my W6 LVP loop. Hope to snag some good Southern American DX and several new NDBs, even though it won't count for my home station totals. Man, that's like... Hey, first, let's go ahead and get this rig here rolling. That's, I tell you, I don't think that I haven't looked on like VRBO here in my area, because we have north of me in St. Tammany Parish, it gets pretty rural. And especially as you get towards the border. And there's one particular VRBO that I found that's like right up next to a nature preserve. And it's already on like 50 acres, 60 acres, something like that. And it's right up to next to this like enormous nature preserve. So there's nothing anywhere around here. And I've thought about it's within the 25-mile radius from the house. Just go buy a spool of 500 feet of copper wire, point it down south and say, let's go. Trust me, I've thought about that. I have definitely thought about that. The new gear in here as well for them with the new antenna tower, which is awesome. And already leading to some new stuff. It's another concept that we support here at DX Central. Now, obviously, you have to kind of work within your budget, and you don't want to go broke. We don't condone that. We don't condone, spending more than your means or doing something beyond your means. But anytime you have an opportunity to improve your setup to get new stuff in the logbook, I'm always looking for that. Always looking for that next antenna that's going to give me that edge, that next little tweak of, this common mode choke better than that common mode choke, or this feed line better than that feed line, right? Or this SDR is quieter than this one. Like there's always going to be that desire to just squeeze out that last little drop of DX out of the sponge. And when you do the work and then you see the results already, that's awesome. So horn of victory for you, my friend. Congratulations. Next up, we've got Rick Dow in Nebraska. 5 new loggings this week on the medium wave band. In order, they are to be TRC in Elkhart, Indiana. 1340 for graveyard logging number 127 from South Omaha. To be IIN 780 in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Local-ish for us. To be ZFG 1100 in Minnesota. KIIX 1410 Fort Collins, Colorado. Nice. KLFD 1410 Litchfield, Minnesota, and just 14 logs away now from hitting 1,100 overall herd since starting the logbook in South Omaha in September of 2010. So new logs for our friend Rick. especially those graveyarders, man. He gets such good results with the graveyard stuff. And I need to spend more time in the graveyard than I do. Well done, my friend. Okay. You guys ready for this? I feel like I should have my dramatic music. Where did I put my dramatic music? Is it? No, it's not there. I think I got rid of my dramatic music that I had loaded up for Sean when Sean was doing all of his stuff. I think I had gotten rid of it here. Oh, well. Anyway. Barry Bankston, Crossville, Tennessee. Now, some of you guys know this because you're in the Slack channel and you've seen, but for those of you who don't, or just so that we all can get together at this point and give a big high five to Barry. Wednesday night, I was sitting at the radio, grumbling about how bad the band conditions were, and band seemed kind of noisy and unstable, and I was having pretty low expectations about the evening's logging prospects. Just for the heck of it, I brought up the 9 kilohertz splits on my Jaguar. Let me cue. Where did I put that? Barry. Where did I put that image you sent me? Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Re-ping that to me if you can, Barry. Brought up the 9 kilohertz splits on my Jaguar and noticed there were multiple carriers showing up. Some of them appearing to have strong signal levels. So this is a feature that's there in Jaguar, right? Where you can actually look at specifically just the 9 kilohertz split frequencies that you've recorded on a recorded file. And it'll show you if there's any carriers there. And it'll show you in strength, right? So if it's like real weak, it's green, it's blue. Reds and oranges and things like that are much, much stronger. Yeah, if you send that picture back to me in Slack real quick, I'll pull it up here on screen. I thought I'd saved it, but I guess I didn't. So, I clicked on one of the stronger carriers and almost immediately heard a man chanting the Quran, which obviously indicated a strong opening to the Middle East. This is a lesson learned for me to make sure that I cover all of my bases and check everything, regardless of how the band sounds. You just never know. And regardless of what your conventional wisdom might think, because this was during pretty high number or large number negative BZ. And we traditionally think of that as auroral conditions, and auroral conditions means stuff is going to be attenuated that's transatlantic, because we typically think of transatlantic as like higher latitude. We typically think of like across the poles, things like that, which, yeah, aurora is going to kind of get that out. But not necessarily. This is the Middle East was pounding in, it was bumping in. I would have missed out if I hadn't checked those 9 kilohertz splits. I would have missed out on a spectacular opening that netted me 6 Middle East logs from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Oman, all 3 new countries, which now gives me 96. 96? 96 countries? Is that right? This opening also broke my distance record, 7,841 miles for this one of the stations in Oman. And he did send over here that big, beautiful image here of the this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these 9 kilohertz splits. So this is just 9 kilohertz, and you see the carrier here, you see carrier here, these little traces. This red one right here, they circled on 1242, was the one that he was like, oh, okay, let's do this. So that's when he was able to really laser focus in and get into the stuff out in the Middle East. 36 countries. 36. I thought, I was like, I know you got a bunch, but I don't even know there's still 96 countries still doing AM. If this was 1995, yeah. But, I don't think so. 36 countries now for our friend Barry. He's got a clip here for us as well. So let's check this out. There you go. I mean, that's audio from Oman to Crossville, Tennessee. Yeah. Crossville, Tennessee. Via a W6 LVP loop and a 63-foot low noise vertical. And the right place at the right time. And I've said this before, like, we're going to talk about here in a little bit after the EAS test. We're going to talk about our article that we did for the Spectrum Monitor for January. We're doing a podcast episode to go along with it about how you can do preparation work and how you can plan and you can target and you can research and do all these things. And then for all of that, sometimes you just fall into the DX. You turn it to that one frequency and you're like, oh man. Like the night that we were sitting here in, was it season 2 of DX Central Live, and we were doing the expanded band. I'm sitting on 1660, and I'm just kind of like listening or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I start hearing them talk about North Dakota. I was like, oh my God, that's North Dakota. I've never heard North Dakota before. It just happened, and I haven't really heard them since at all. So, you know, sometimes the DX is there. My dad used to always say, and I was talking about this with my mom the other day, one of Dad's favorite things to say, when the DX is there, the DX is there. When the propagation is there, it's there. Right? This applies to FM, it applies to AM. And sometimes it just shows up. And there it is. So it's you can help increase your odds to preparation, but sometimes it's just being in the right place at the right time. And that's exactly where Barry was. He found himself prepared with a great setup, low noise, very knowledgeable about the band, but knew to go over and look at those things. And sure enough, that time he looked, then it was there. So it was that combination of setup, preparation, and right place at the right time. So we give our friend Barry a very hearty passport stamp here. And we also get you the milestone because you got the record for your distance, 7,841 miles. I mean, just like this is the kind of DX that a lot of us got into DXing for, right? Was to hear stuff like this. So can you? Yeah. You can definitely do it. You can hear it, but it takes time. It takes luck. You put yourself in the best situation you can with the best setup possible, the lowest noise floor you can possibly get. You want to know your band inside and out. All the preparation work and research and everything else that you do puts you in a position so that when that DX does show up, you'll be ready. You'll know what to listen for. You'll know where to listen, and you'll have the right setup to be able to pull it in. That's the formula. It doesn't take the most expensive SDR and the most expensive stuff in the world out in the yard. It doesn't take a massive antenna. I mean, he's got a 63-foot vertical because he's got a tall tree, but you can do this with a shorter vertical or a CAS or a DCAS or a super loop. You just have to be prepared, and you have to have the right conditions at the right time in the right place. So congratulations, my friend. We saw the log for you. We do another horn of victory. There we go. All right, we are now here ready for the EAS tests here in Louisiana. So we're running record on I'm going to hit record on the RSPDX, which gets us our low noise vertical here. So the low noise vertical is recording. The AirSpy is recording with the southeast antenna. So if you have a request of a Louisiana frequency you want us to check, if we've heard it, we may not hear it if we haven't heard it before, but if we got a shot at it, we'll give it a shot and see if we pick that EAS test up. Let's go to 870 though. WWL. as our starting point.
Drop now looks, tries to find a seam. He can't. He's wrapped up quickly by a blitzing linebacker who comes in.
And let's look at 690.
Cambray.
EWTN. Live true. Live Catholic.
EWTN invites you to join us in this.
I'm just going to go through my New Orleans market here.
And still fight like each one is personal.
WBOK. 1230.com.
There's 800.
A special introduction to Through the Bible as our teacher, Dr. J. Vernon McGee, explains how wonderful it is to know God.
You hear the station underneath my local? That's PJB in Bonaire.
On the Bible
That's how loud they are.
Copy of God's Word in Malachi 1.
Shalom and welcome. This is my sixth message on getting your prayers answered. In my last few messages, I have been focusing on praying.
All he does is run like a madman, like his hair is on fire, so don't be surprised.
While we have the opportunity, let's check in with Mike Gambrell. He's on the St. Charles sideline. Mike, what you got?
Hey, guys, I forgot to mention just what the scene is down here today for the game. When the teams lined up for the national anthem, the St. Charles Catholic, they have no problem player participation at this school. Their players lined up single file all the way from one 5-yard line to the other 5-yard line. Their fans, out not to be outdone, they're lined up all the way from Portage to Gerard Street, covered in purple and gold. I think the green and white on the other side have just about covered. So great turnout by both fan bases here tonight.
Barry said literally the hair was standing up on my arms when I heard that chanting from Oman. That's how I was the first time I heard Peru, man. I was haunted by that station out of Peru. That's why it remains one of my all-time go-to favorites. Them and Radio Monumental out of Ecuador. Same feeling. I was just like,
gain of 18, and Shaw saw the opportunity, ran with it, and now Archbishop Shaw cooking.
Let's check 1150 with JBO.
A good idea to support local companies, support your community. That's what Morales Roll-Offs is, a local company.
Frankfurt Assistant Police Chief Scott Tracy said,
In the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty to not...
Christian parents had declined to take...
Second chapter of Ephesians, there put together 3 words that...
Vehicle maker Rivian has unveiled a custom chip, car computer, and AI model that will bring a self-driving feature to its new vehicle. It also announced plans to...
game that I'm more confident in than any...
Bishop Shaw taking the opportunity to figure out if they're going to go...
Not hearing anything. 990.
Who is this new Lisa, and why are we going live with her? And what does it mean to be unscripted?
Yeah, I'm not hearing any of the EAS tests yet. I'm doing the recording, so Ethan, if you're in there, let me know when you hear it fires, and we'll go back and we'll check the recording that we're running. That's why I want to make sure we had that recording running. So, Kaz says, I felt like that when I heard my first Peru off freak near 1500. Yeah, Radio Santa Rosa in July a couple of years ago when I first put up the big South D Kaz. Yeah. All right. So we're DXing. We're looking around for the EAS test here in Louisiana. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. Once we know officially that it fired, we'll go look at our recordings to see what we caught. And if there's something you're looking for, if you're running a recording, then hopefully we can match it up for you. Jacob said, he had the same feeling when he heard Argentina on 870 for the first time. Yeah. Yeah. There's those little milestones that we get when we DX, right? Where we're, for me at least, it was, how do I describe it? It was, I had always tried to hear these things that I saw a lot of other people hearing with, a pretty regular basis. And the first time that I was kind of playing around in that same playground was, wow, that felt really cool. Be hearing some of the same stuff that people like Mark Connolly and Bruce Conti and Tim Trump and Kaz and some of these other huge names in the hobby. Some of these guys that I would sit there and read their logs in DX News and for DXpeditions and stuff like that. I mean, they're in Maine or Newfoundland or Cape Cod or whatever. So there's some good stuff there. But I would still read about what these guys were getting. I was like, how can I get that? And then when I finally started kind of hearing some of that stuff, it was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So there you go. Let's see what we got here on some South American stuff. Let's go back and redo another loop through our big beacon frequency, starting with Ecuador 1510. That's Radio Monumental out of Ecuador. So you know where I'm going next. Peru, 1090.
Here's what God says. When you saw this, and you considered that, you saw somebody shoplifting in a store. You didn't say anybody. You just watched it go and say,
let's check our stream from Radio Vision.
Por esto conocemos que
no, I don't hear Peru there. Let's check 1100. We're going to run this one up against 810.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver.
Victory formation, Langela Blanc.
Added more police officers. The mayor, the judge, and I had a meeting.
With a proper diet and exercise.
Both of these nations that came from and that I hated Esau. In other words,
holy crap.
And at that particular time, Edom never made
You
it.
hear that?
When was the last time?
That Spanish station. So this,
they went out.
There are two stations here. There's English, religious. That's my local here in New Orleans, WSHO on 800. The Spanish, religious, is Bonaire, PJB, just off the coast of Venezuela.
Again, he never made that.
That's how loud they are.
Until it worked it
with their glitchy audio.
And it reveals, therefore, that
let's check 770. Yeah, 1100.28 is Caracol Radio. So that's La FAMA. Also La FAMA. This one's the San Andres. Caracol Radio. With Bahamas out front. Or on the side. That's Bahamas with the music. $11.40 to be APF? Really? I'm going to go back and look because I don't have them. Believe it or not, I don't have Macomb. And they're right there across the border. So we've got Bahamas with the music, with Ave Maria. We've got this football matches, Caracol Radio. Now we go to 1100. I've got the hit. I don't hear Caracol Radio like we did earlier. So there's the Peruvian right there, 1100.10. Super weak, especially compared to earlier. Here's Caracol Radio at 2.8, much weaker than earlier. So now I see why I don't hear audio. So maybe not as deep as we had earlier. Let's see if that Colombian's still in 840. Yeah. That's got to be them, I would think. Let's get that. Live stream map that we pulled up earlier. No, that is not them. That is not Colombia. But now, my next candidate is that is CMHW out of Cuba. I didn't have any audio on him. No, I haven't had that yet, Kaz. I've seen the carrier there. Let's go back to it here. The carrier's there, but it's much, much weaker than it was earlier. Now, I will go back and check some of my recordings. Now, it's starting to come back a little bit. That's coming back. Let me... Chicle, all right. There's Caracol Radio again. Dios de... Let's see if we can find that live stream. Yeah, I'm not hearing the ball here on the south antenna. We've got Cuba, W.
Compartir en este tiempo de radio vía teléfono con un gran amigo, un exitoso por excelencia, que tiene cosas buenas para este fin de año. Señoras y señores, el lunes, la Perla del Sur inicia juegos y dentro de la Perla del Sur, un pedacito así, una semana de la cultura que hay en cruces, pero...
Pause this for a second here.
Estos van a estar realizando tanto en la departamental de Trujillo como en las provinciales de Cusco, Chimbote y Huaraz.
That's the Peruvian. That's the Peruvian on 1100, their stream. I will drop this in the chat. So let's just take a gander at 1100.
En Arequipa son 30 cooperadores y 2 diáconos.
I don't hear him. But that trace is pretty weak.
En Juliaca serán 40.
I'm going to keep myself looking at that for a while, Kaz, because that's one I would like to get. You guys have been hearing some EAS tests that were fired here in Louisiana. We were recording everything up to 1260, from 540 to 1260 on the Air Spy, which is southeast, but we were recording on the SDR console here, the whole band. So let's stop this particular file. Give me a time and a frequency. I'm going to look for WAPF first here, 1140. 2038 was when we were looking. Got to spin them discs. There we go. All right, let's get the navigator up here as well. And unmute. So that's 1140. I had Spanish, and B, I had a very nice hit here at 1141, which that's supposed to be Cuba, right? Isn't that who we figured out as the Cuban on 1140 with the 1 kilohertz? It was Cuba. 836. 836.37. So looking for 1140 to be APF Mississippi. This was on the vertical. I don't hear him. Yeah, 1141's Q. That's what I thought. That's a pretty big hit there. And then at times. That would be a new Cuban for me, though. I haven't had a new Cuban in a long time. Let me... $835.56. All right, let's take it back.
Llevan 30 años que señalar a nadie, pero hay hermanos que llevan 30 años trabajando las cosas. Entonces, no pasan de ahí.
I do not hear him. And the Cuban was not there. That's crazy. No WAPF Macomb. Sometimes that shorter end stuff is a little bit harder. Let's go look at... you said there was 836.37. So...
Matter. Climate. If that first step is 25 on the Maryland to post on it of decision, because that's why on liberty bread, right? You know, that's just the way that it is. People will majority get out of jail because there's no bail, and
there's 836.37 on 990.
The vast majority of the crime.
I don't hear it here.
Protect your liberty, violating somebody else's right to life. That's why the state has to be doing this. If the state doesn't, then people will get out of hand.
And policy, it's read this type.
Maryland is post online. Not to economy, Maryland be onto the $5 step onto it. First have to get. I can't get home wage experience. Higher for that $25 an hour job had better.
Let's try 1150 WJBO Baton Rouge.
It's just change this Canadian and I do. I don't discriminate. I'm not because me. I won't get home if I get off everything. I mean, I'm
Here it is.
Alert system to the Louisiana official messages when toxic release or any emergency.
This is WJBO 1150 out of Baton Rouge.
Emergency equipment. Number 1.
835.49. That's WJBO 1150 in Baton Rouge. That is when they fired theirs. So if you're looking for Baton Rouge on 1150, that's the time to check. It is 8:35:50 Central Time.
Stations and cable systems of your area. Emergency alert system equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested.
Well, housing when some of the best athletes in the world have but he's going to be a second most protect going to be fine.
Let's look at KWKH.
140 straight, you know, I'm the young guy. And they get on.
And cable systems of
Aaron Rodgers had 4 steps.
1130 KWKH was at 8:36:18. That is what time they fired off. Thanks, Kaz. Appreciate you being here as always, my friend. Thank you, and good luck in the DX. So if you're looking for KWKH, Shreveport, 1130, 8:36:18 is where you want to mark in your recording to go look for them. We're coming up on top of the hour, so we'll do some more DX, and we'll if you have any requests for us to go look for some of these EAS alerts, let me know. This is for the state of Louisiana. If you have a target, let's just for the giggles here, let's go look for WMBS. Because I've never heard them before. I would like to. Not even a hint. Not even a hint of it there, Rick. I wish they were, because I need that as well. Charles, to answer your question, this one was on the RSPDX. Is the SDR, the antenna is the low noise vertical, and the software is SDR console. We're seeing on screen right now. We're going to come back to that here after the top of the hour. Let's go back up, though, and look for some DX down south. We're still getting a nice hat here. 1100.28, a little tiny one here on 1100.1 for the Peruvian, but we'll keep stalking that one. Let's check 1570 Guatemala again. Oh, La Raza. La Raza. 810 Jackson 5. Catacol Radio's come back on top. Is that them with Celebrate underneath? Bahamas?
DX Central Live Top of the Hour Alert.
Okay. The Cool in the Gang down there, that's Bahamas. We got a football match on top, that's Caracol Radio. 780. Oh, it didn't, come on. 780. I think this is the Friday nights when they sign off at 03 UTC, isn't it? British Virgin Islands, isn't the night they do it? So we definitely want to be recording right now. And we are on the Air Spy. We are on the RSPDX R2. We got Caracol on 1090. Let's take a gander.
Bless the Lord, all ye who is ministers of his, and do his pleasure. So, I return to my opening question.
Is it the soccer match? Because I don't hear that here. Got KAY on top. Another Spanish station.
Este tipo de dominio no es única.
I kind of hear Peru down in the weeds. Let's go back to 1570 for Guatemala again. That one's, I'm hearing in my left ear, the Radio Vea signal. They're in there. I want to try this one. This is 1560. Now, normally this is Texas, but damn. The stream's still not working. This is usually Adventista Radio out of Panama. Do I have a backup? Yes, I do. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, come on. I'm trying to do it, guys. Radio Adventista out of Panama on 1560. I've heard him here several times, including recently. No dice. Here's a good one that we don't think about very often. Let's go look for Puerto Rico.
TX Naples.
Relevant Radio.
Relevant Radio, 1660 AM and 93.
Not a sign of them. Look on 1120. Here's another one we can check for, too. Radio Católica on 720. They have been crazy strong lately. This is what we're listening for. The Peruvian on 1110. I have not. Let's go see what's up. It's hard to get around Mexico.
Pago de actualizaciones ni recargos. Así lo informó el secretario de Administración y Finanzas, Juan Pablo de Bozón. El beneficio aplicará durante 2026 y excluye infracciones por carriles confinados hechos con lesiones o delitos. Para mayores detalles visita el portal infracciones.cdmx.gov.mx. Activistas alertaron posibles retrocesos a la
997, that's
jornada laboral a 40
tight.
al asegurar que podría afectar derechos.
That's XDRED, I'm sure of it.
Piden a legisladores revisar el contenido antes de su aplicación.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to get through. Not hearing Nicaragua here on 720.
Taking in possession of stolen mail and it resigned from his job at the post office. The investigation began late October after a letter.
That's 750. That's our local KKNO out of Gretna. That's on way late. It shouldn't be.
Say this should serve as a reminder to use caution when sending cash or anything of monetary value through the mail, especially during the holiday season. Hatching of 95.5 the U.S.
The Justice Department is intending Fulton County turn over copies of ballots from the 2020 election. The DOJ filed the law.
I want to see something.
Bueno que en estas fiestas Sí, un iPad y un Apple Watch.
Pero desde que le regalaste el iPhone.
I was looking for Argentina. 700. This is a good one. Radio Sucre out of Ecuador.
Construye caminos que llevan al progreso. Con más de 400.
I think we might have her here. Go to that slot from 690.
It's not a technicality. The court found that they held thousands of days of exculpatory information.
No es discurso.
It's not a technicality. So anybody believes that it's Attorney David Hahn speaking back in 2023.
That sounds like what I just heard. I think we've got Radio Sucre out of Ecuador in there right now.
Prosecutor Connie Phillips said that withheld evidence played a big part in her decision.
Not loud.
Also,
modern day medical testing.
Same voice. 700 out of Guayaquil.
No longer believes that Jones killed Nathan. Prosecutor Phillips today also announcing the creation of a new integrity unit to review other potential wrongful convictions.
Las 10:04.
President Trump without context, pictures of condom wrappers with Trump's likeness.
Here's the stream that I'm comparing to. Now, it's a little behind.
Republicans are accusing Democrats of releasing photos to embarrass the president. The Justice Department now has 1 week left complying with the law
multiple Epstein files. Republicans say the Democrats are, quote, cherry-picking photos and are making targeted redactions to create a false narrative about President Trump.
There are hundreds and hundreds of people in the photos with him.
It comes as the Department of Justice has until next Friday to comply with the law passed by Congress last month to release the entirety of the Epstein files. That was ABC's
Like poder vivir
Okay.
30 breaking news.
They're in there. They're super weak. But they're in there. Let's try 600.
Past HVAC in Luke 20. From the dead, and he meets with a couple of individuals.
Memphis is in there right now. I don't hear Nicaragua. So I'm hearing deep into South America. I'm hearing Colombia, hearing a little bit of Peru, hearing Ecuador. I'm not hearing Central America. So the band's running long right now. That's good. That's very good. I want to try something.
In the playoff game, we'll all come back and say, but based on what I've seen so far in his entire career, I'm looking at the numbers right now. I actually look at the numbers.
I want to just try something here because the band is running long.
Although here's my problem. It's rarely going to take out like that in the hospital. What do you really do? How is it different?
Let's take a look at 920 and see if we have anything from Paraguay. So this is a Kiwi SDR in northern Argentina, not far from Paraguay. We're going to do our Kiwi trick. And it just went off the air. It just disappeared. By the way, this northern Argentina Kiwi is really, really good. Okay, now they're back. What we're doing here is we're throwing my Kiwi in the left ear, the Argentine in the right ear. We're going to level set the audio levels a little bit and see if we hear an echo. That's how we're going to try to see if we can match this up, because the Kiwis should be very, very close to real time. Maybe a slight delay, which actually we want. We want a little bit of a slap echo in there. So we're going to see if we can hear any of this audio from 920 out of Paraguay in our Kiwi. Let's start first with the Argentine Kiwi. Now we're going to probably mute the Argentine Kiwi a couple times to see if we can get a reference if we're hearing any of that in our Kiwi. Here we go. Now we're going to mute. They're there. Paraguay is in there. Paraguay is there. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What a bunch of front-running frauds. You know what? I waited so quick in apology, so here it is. Sorry. My bad. A couple of months.
Yes. Yes. Paraguay. Yes.
best option in the Super Bowl. And Baker Mayfield was the favorite to win the MVP. And all of a sudden, since then, they've lost a bunch of football games. Baker Mayfield has had some questionable play. And that loss last night, if you didn't see
all right.
tonight's football because you have your TV guy,
if we're getting Paraguay, you know where I'm going next. Is it likely? No. Am I going to try it? Yeah. We're going to pull up the Kiwi SDR from Montevideo down in Uruguay. We're going to sit on 770. Throw this in my right ear. It's going to be tough when they're just talking. That music's what we need. We need that music. $8.50? I haven't tried that yet. Let's give a... Hey, I will do anything I have to do to get Uruguay in the logbook. This is $8.50. Let's just listen for a second to my signal. Do they have an offset? Now we bring up the Uruguay Kiwi. Man.
That scares me a lot. Well, okay, so Shanahan had a rule that if you don't play, you don't practice on Friday.
19, viernes 19 de diciembre, en consulta, atiendo...
You need to get that person out there to the game plan because they're going to go in. Now, there were certain exceptions to... I was about to say, rules are meant to be broken. I was banged up, and someone else, John Lesh was banged up. He may not have practiced this the entire week. He just did the walk.
Normalmente queda frente a la terminal Tres Cruces de Montevideo, cruzando la vereda del frente, allí.
So I don't know the extent of injury.
I feel like I'm wanting to hear it. Maybe that's why I think I'm hearing it.
If you can go, you go. Even if that means that you have to put some harness or whatever it is for you to be able to go, you can go.
I think what's so concerning, though, is even if you do get into play, he's going up against Micah Parsons, he's going up against Sean Berry, this is the if you're getting to the finished version of Mike McGlinchey,
I feel like I'm hearing those little piano hits.
For Bo Nix in the passing game, when all season Bo Nix...
Take care, David.
Pockets to work with, that might not be the case.
Heal up, my friend.
La ciudad de Las Piedras. Atención en la ciudad.
I'm going to spit facts, not throwing shade. But when we look at the Broncos and where they are as far as sack total, 17. I think the Packers may be at 18. But I know...
Oh, come on, give me some music.
On the offensive line, you want to give an uber amount of credit to left tackle, number 72, Garrett freaking Bobo.
He's playing like an all-pro this year.
Yeah, he gave up back. I think it's...
I'm going to set up an AB here. Still all talk.
14 de enero en consulta, atiendo el 33.
Been able to get away with, and it's all due in part because the chemistry up front, being able to block at times, but more importantly, the athleticism of your quarterback. And this is where I've gone after a lot of people, both locally and nationally.
Oh.
Negative comments about Bo saying is that
we've got Paraguay.
on plays too much. He doesn't stay in the pocket and wait for the play to develop.
Now, if somebody, Mesa Mike, if you're in, Jacob, if you guys want to look at 870, I don't have a good look with WWL. I can try it, but it's going to take the right exact conditions and timing to pull them in. I've done it, but it's not easy. It requires a CCC and everything else.
In the game against the Raiders, the Broncos did. At one time.
And with my local here on 750 on late, I don't think I got a shot there to pull Argentina. But Paraguay. Sean! That North Argentine Kiwi is really, really good for that too. Here. This can be another resource for you to try. Check that one as well. In fact, let's go back with you here. Oh, they've gotten so much louder. They've gotten so much louder now. Now they're dipping. This will be another one as the gray line approaches Uruguay, and as the gray line approaches Argentina, and as the gray line approaches Paraguay later tonight. I'm talking 0130. See, that's what 0730 UTC. So about 0730 UTC, 0200 UTC, 0230, 03, somewhere in that ballpark right there. That's going to be a really good time to try for Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, because as the gray line approaches, it gets a boost down there. That's what I've logged every one of these before. This is the earliest I've heard Paraguay. So Argentina and Paraguay were all heard within like an hour or less of gray line. And that's what I'm trying to do with Uruguay, but let's go back to 850. And let's see what they've got going on down here in Uruguay. Still talking. Oh, man.
Silencio. Personas como usted ya nos han visitado para mejorar y estar superior del estado actual en el que se encuentra. Visítenos personalmente. Somos la ayuda que usted necesita para vivir.
Sean getting Paraguay in the log. My man. Yeah. The music helps me. That's why I'm waiting for Uruguay to get this going here. There's two frequencies we're going to be keeping an eye on for Uruguay. 770 for Radio Oriental. 850 for this is Radio Carve. Okay? Those are the two frequencies we're going to be stalking for the rest of the night for Uruguay. 770, I'll take you there. Let's see what they're doing right now. talk. 8:50 talk. Typically at night after, say, midnight, 1 o'clock Central Time, so about an hour or so before their sunrise, they start doing religious music. And sometimes the same song every night. That music is especially Argentina, Paraguay, down that area, lots of harps, lots of accordions, really bright instrumentation that helps pull that music out. Which is another reason I like Latin America in general for DX, because there's a lot of that in Latin America, but especially Argentina, Paraguay, down that way. Let's go back to 8:50 again and just see if there's any shot we have here.
Nunca se limpió de esa energía que hace que sea todo
My brain's trying to connect the dots here. But I'm like 99% sure they're not in there right now, despite what my brain's trying to do. Okay. There's KOA on the back end of the wire. So we're going to keep searching for these guys tonight. This is going to be like nonstop. Nonstop for tonight. We're going to keep looking for Uruguay. I might try my hand at a couple of Brazilian frequencies just to be sure. If we're getting that deep into South America that Paraguay's coming in, even if it's for a short window, that puts a lot of stuff on the table. That puts Chile on 760 and 1140 on the table. Those are two frequencies to check. 760 is Red Alleluia. And Jacob knows their offset. I forget their offset. Their offset on 760 is pretty good. And 1140 is Radio Nacional de Chile. Both of them are like 70 kilowatts. Like they're big signals. And they have good web streams, and there's Kiwis down there. So 760 and 1140, good looks for Chile. 770, 850, good looks for Uruguay. 920, great look for Paraguay. Bolivia and Brazil are the tough two that I'm really struggling with right now. So I'll keep looking for those. Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. What's this on 850 right now with the cone sweeps looking at stuff?
And they're now routinely at 0.5.
They're doing a lot of talk. So I need them to play some music. So Uruguay music. Real quick, let's talk about a couple other things and then we'll adjourn. So we have an article coming out, January Spectrum Monitor. We're talking about this very topic, actually, researching your targets for DX. I talked about it earlier. Sometimes it's the luck of the draw, but also sometimes knowing what to listen for, knowing where to listen, and what to how to go about it can help. The preparation work that I did a couple of years ago on Paraguay definitely helped me to know where to look for them here and how to look for them, like what Kiwis and stuff to pull up. Same thing here with the Uruguay, 850, 770. I forgot about 850, so thank you, Jacob. I'd always been looking at 770, but I knew what Kiwis to look for and kind of what the lay of the land was. So that's what the article is about here, coming up in the January edition of the Spectrum Monitor. So go to thespectrummonitor.com. If you're not already a subscriber, I highly encourage you to do so, because not only do we have my columns in there, the AM FMDX columns every once a quarter, but there's also shortwave, there's ham radios, all kinds of stuff in there. Also, we're going to do a companion podcast episode with that column that's going to talk about the same topics. So we're going to talk about a lot of the same things that we're talking about here in that podcast episode. So that's where things like the all-season analysis dashboard comes into play of having some targets. That's where our beacon frequencies list. And yes, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, they're all in there with streams and everything. So they're on that target list. So that's where some of these things come into play. So I encourage you all to try these out. So a lot of people think, saw some comments in the chat, I'll never really hear this because of so-and-so. Maybe, maybe not. I would never think. I have WWL 50 kilowatts in my backyard across the lake, 27 miles across the lake is their stick. And it's 50 kilowatts blowtorch right at my head. Okay. I still heard Argentina underneath them. I heard Argentina on 870 and Ecuador and Colombia and Cuba on 870 under WWL. It can be done. Don't think that you can't. It takes timing, it takes practice, it takes patience, it takes planning. Okay, so that's what we'll talk about in the column here in the Spectrum Monitor and the upcoming podcast episode. Don't forget, this edition of DX Central Live will be on podcast on the From the Static podcast this weekend. So some point this weekend, whenever I can download the audio and get everything edited up and put together, that'll be available. I'm working on a couple of other episodes, so I'm very excited about that. If we can get some of that stuff coming in, if I can get an email back. What else do we want to hit real quick? If you are in the Slack channel and you have a request for the EAS test, if you are looking for a Louisiana station, you want us to check our recording that we made tonight, just shoot me a note in Slack and I'll check it for you and let you know what time I heard it and everything else. So if you have a particular target station you're looking for from Louisiana, hit that over to me in Slack. If you're not on Slack, just hit it to me on like twitter.com/DXCentral. Email me. It's w4lvhsc@gmail.com is what you can use. Real quick, before we go, I want to take a really quick look at the country challenge because you guys are crushing it here. dxchallenges.com. So let's go, and you'll notice here I have a new link right here because people were having a hard time sometimes finding where to go for the challenge. Click here for our current challenge. It's right there. I had it up here, but then people wouldn't be scrolling down to see all the other stuff, so I put it down here. So you have to still scroll, but I want you to scroll. All right, so 169 total stations. Look at that. 36 countries heard. About to be 37 when we get Paraguay in there. 36 heard countries. 13 DXers so far. So there's quite a few of you who are on this stream watching right now that have not submitted logs. Come on. A, it's fun to do. B, you're helping out other DXers because every log you submit goes into our big data analysis pool that we have. So the more data you're feeding in, the better research tool we have. So I implore all of you. That's the same thing. The same bandwagon I get on with FM lists in the summer for sporadic E on FM. This is our resource for that, right? This dashboard right here. So please, by all means, get your country logs in. dxchallenges.com, and then you saw where to click to find the link. You do have to register. The only thing that you're registering for is so that people don't have to type their name and their location every time they submit a log. We used to have to do that. It sucked. People were like, can we stop having to do that? And I was like, let me figure it out. Figured it out. The only way to do it is if you register. So you register one time. It's free. I'm not taking your information. I'm not going to email blast you. Ask the people who do the challenge. I've never emailed the challenge people their email address directly using their information from the challenge. I don't do it. Okay. Let's take a look at some other things we have here. Barry with 35 logs, David 27. Look at that 7841 furthest reception for Barry. That's crushing it. I'll have to go back and check. I think that's a new record for us. As a matter of fact, let's check that record really quick. I think that is now going to break our distance record. I think maybe Stephanie still has it with her log distance. So this is our all-season dashboard. This is what I'm talking about. The all-season dashboard and all the data that's available to it. More than 32,000 logs. 7,000 miles. So yes, Barry is now our new record holder for the FM or the medium wave frequency challenge in 5 seasons He has now broken the record for furthest reception at 7,841 miles. Well done, Barry, my friend. Well done. There's the logs by state. Logs by country. Look at all the countries we have now. And I am going to double check and see, do we have any new ones that I need to apply? Because if you do one where you have to input the other and type in the name, I have to transfer that over for it to get credit. So I have to do that on a regular basis. That's no big deal. It's easy to do. Are there any new ones that I need to do that for? Yes. India is here. Philippines, Oman, Canary Islands. So that's going to up our count. So let's hit the refresh on this because it updates every 15 minutes, but I can force it to do it now. So let's do a force refresh of the data. And we're going to go from 36 countries, actually 37, to 38, 39 countries. So we're almost at 40. Almost at 40 countries. Look at all those. Look at all that. We're about to add Paraguay right there, too, right here in South America. And maybe this little guy right here tonight, too. Come on. Maybe that guy. All right. Herd countries, Barry with 22, David Pete with 18. Bonaire, Bahamas, Colombia, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, looking good. Yeah. Barry with 7,700. So he's got like the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The top 6 furthest receptions now all belong to Barry. So well done, man. Well done. That's awesome. Who got Japan? Let's take a look. So we're going to go up here to our list with our filters. We're going to hit Japan. We got Ken Alexander over in Thailand. Has 2 Japanese stations here. There you go. Oops. And we're about to add another one. I'm very excited about that, in case you couldn't tell. All right, my friends, that is my plea to you, is to get your logs in for this. If you have not yet done so, get your logs in for the country challenge, because this, again, especially this country stuff, we're pretty well covered on the domestic stuff, I would say, for the most part. I still want people to do domestic stuff when we do domestic challenges or, like frequency challenges. But this country stuff, this is critical, because this is the intel that we need. We need more updated, accurate, broad data on countries and DX to help serve the community. So just pour it all in here. And I know with this scoring system that we have on here, which, by the way, I don't think I showed you guys. If we go down here to the bottom, we have the score table. Oh, I need to scroll down. That's why. We have our score table here. You'll see Barry's got 175 points. Crazy high. With this score system, you only get credit for the first 2 stations you log in a country. If you're getting on a hot streak with some stuff like Barry did here with a couple of different, signal or stations from different countries, keep submitting it. We need intel. We need data. So if you get on a hot streak with some of these stations, even if you're not getting points for it, still submit it, because it'll still be in the log. It's still going to go into the master data set. And so it helps everybody out. And that's more intel that we can have on what you heard, when you heard it, how you heard it, blah, blah. So, there we go. Let's take a look here at the chat. See if there's anything else you guys are looking for here. Aiden's going to be submitting some logs. Thank you, sir. Sean saying he's seeing some meteors scatter on 2 meters right now to Texas from Illinois. Awesome. Rick says we're making his target list longer. That's good. Good. I want all of us to have like crazy big target lists, and when we scratch them off, we feel awesome about it, because that's what we're doing here, right? We're setting our goals and our dreams high and lofty for far off DX in the hopes that we might get it. And sometimes you land in it and you find yourself there. All right. I think that's going to do it for this edition of DX Central Live, my friends. What a great episode. I mean, it was already going great. And then we got the Paraguay in there and woohoo, now I'm on a high. For all of our patrons, thank you again. Thank you so much for your support. Your continued support is continuing to help us achieve new goals and new milestones and heights here at DX Central with the content that we offer. So thank you for that. To our sponsors. Oh, if you want to be a patron, patreon.com/DX Central, if you're so inclined. You get early access to videos and podcasts and a couple of other little perks. And we're going to start the live streams here pretty soon. The like in person, like you stream with us. We all do it together, like a Zoom kind of thing. We'll be starting those here pretty soon. I just got to work out the kinks on the software side, the hardware side. For our sponsors, the National Radio Club, nationalradioclub.org, International Radio Club of America, IRCAonline.org, and the Spectrum Monitor, thespectrummonitor.com. Thank you to our sponsors for their support as well, and appreciate you guys helping to get the word out about what we do here at DX Central. From all of us, to all of you, my friends, take care. Best of DX. I hope you get some stuff. Go hit these bands tonight. They're hot. They're priming. And hopefully that'll continue to percolate further north towards our friends up north in the northern latitudes. Take care, my friends. Best of DX. We'll see you next week right here on DX Central Live.
This has been the DX Central from the Static Podcast. If you are interested in sponsoring this podcast, let us know by emailing sponsors@fromthestatic.net. If you have a story to share for our Stories from the Static series, send those to our email address, stories@fromthestatic.net. Be sure to join us for our live DX live stream every Friday night at 2345 UTC, 1845 Central Time on our YouTube channel or at dxcentrallive.com.
The DX Central from the Static podcast is copyright 2025, Loyd Van Horn, DX Central. All rights reserved. No portion of this podcast may be rebroadcast or reused without the express written authorization of Loyd Van Horn and DX Central. Be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, as new episodes will be posted regularly. Join us next time for the DX Central from the Static podcast.